That might help if I record it, right? Um, so first of all, welcome to Ramp. Okay, I'm really excited that you guys are here. Quite honestly, this is the group that I love to work with. At this point, we've kind of separated, the chaff from the wheat. You know what I mean? Where I never know who's going to stick around long enough or do well enough. Really, my forte probably is more helping you guys create a vision for what you want and where you want to take this. It's a blessing that I'm at where I'm at in my business, because it's no longer about me. I think for a time, I think at first a lot of times it is about you and you rank advancing and you doing this and you doing that, you know what I mean, or you making this much money. I'm to the point now where my own recognition I could care less about. I've been recognized for everything there is in the company, literally have been on stage for every,
I know.
And so now it's about, it's really about me working with you guys and helping you guys create the vision for whatever you guys want to do with this, and to kind of give you the bare truth of it all, and let you know, just from my experience and me seeing a lot of people fail and succeed in this network and helping you guys, do those things. And so, but I'm excited to work with you. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time talking about me, obviously, your coaches wouldn't be plugging you into this group. They've all been through this group. Does that make sense? Like, your leaders were you, whether that was, 6 months ago or a couple years ago or whatever, but all of them have went through these groups over the last, handful of years. And so one of the reasons I love working with this group is because I get to know you guys better. Right. And it'll be a little bit more interactive, where we can actually interact and I can get to know you. You can get to know me. You can pick my brain. But over the course of Ramp, this is really going to be focused on team building. And we're going to get into that a little bit tonight. But before we do that, I really just kind of want to take the chance to kind of get to know you guys. I got 3 of you on here tonight. And I know there's more of that in the group. But for those watching the recording, I get to know the people that are actually on the live calls a lot better. I get to see their faces. I get to see their couches. I get to know their stories a little bit better. And for me, that means something, right? It really does. It means something. And so I'm looking forward to that. I don't take it lightly that you guys have invested your time, and I don't want to waste your time. Time is a valuable thing. I used to not respect time, but now I do. So I realize you got a lot on your plate. You guys have jobs, you have families, you have whatever is going on in your life. And I realize that taking, 45 minutes to an hour every week to do a small group like this is an investment on your part. Doing the daily assignments is an investment. And so I don't want to do anything that's going to waste your time. The end goal is to help you guys get to a better place where you can start rising up as independent leaders. That's really, where you can start hitting some goals on your own. And so I could be that proud grandpa, I just remember, like, my grandmother used to love watching me play football, and I could tell she was proud of me, you know what I mean? But she didn't have to coach me through it. She didn't have to do the work. She didn't have to show up to practice. She just, right? And so, literally anything that I advise you to do in this group, I've either done at a very high level, I continue to do. Does that make sense? Or I've seen other people do and do it with success, and maybe I chose not to do that for my own reasons, but I'm not going to not give it to you as an option for how you can do things, because you might want to go that path and do really well with it. Does that make sense? Right? So we're going to talk about a lot during this group. So before we do that, I see Jen. Is that a dog or Jordan? I'll go with Jordan. Jordan has her puppy on her lap. I'm unmuting you. So I do want to get to know you guys a little bit better. So, now you just muted yourself again. You unmute.
There we go.
Hey, all right. So Jordan, I've seen you a lot on Facebook, actually. So it's good to chit chat a little bit. So tell me about you. I mean, outside of Beachbody, tell me a little bit about you.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 kids, 2 and 6.
Okay.
And I just became a stepmother to 5 puppies. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Work out, take the kid to school, pick him up, and spend the day with the little one. So
Yeah.
My day's not very interesting.
Well, that's a lot because I'm a stay-at-home dad.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. I know. Listen, most men don't get it. I get it because I work from home, right? So I'm literally here. Other than when I leave to go to football stuff, I'm here all the time. And so luckily it's me and my wife. We're both here. I don't know how women do it just on their own. I really don't because like there's times when I can help Ashley. There's times when she can help me. You know. So 2 and 6. Yeah. Where do you
Yeah,
live?
Corinth, Mississippi.
I was gonna
We're in
say.
Hicktown.
I mean, because you have a little southern twang to you.
Yeah. My uncle is from Illinois, so he gives me heck all the time about my
Right.
language and my tone. So
Right. I like it. It's okay. So I have a northern accent, so it's all right.
I seen you got the new Tinkerbell movie.
Yes, and we watched
It
it.
is so good. We love
Yeah.
that movie.
I cried at the end. I never expected to cry. I'm really not a wuss, I promise you. But I did. I was like, it was sad at the end. I was like, what? I've never been
was.
sad at the end of a Tinkerbell movie.
If you
They
haven't
usually have like
seen
this epic ending, So
Big Hero 6 is a good one too. It's more of a boy one, but my 2-year-old little girl loves it.
okay.
But
What's
it's
it called?
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
So, well, good. So if I have a son,
Yeah. Well, my little girl likes it.
we're trying to have a son right now. So anyway, all right, we digress. So tell me about Beachbody. How and when did Beachbody kind of come into your life?
It came into my life back in October. My mom started actually, and before me, and I thought she was nuts. I've seen the infomercials, and I'm like, yeah, right. That's just another infomercial, But she did it, and I literally watched her do the workouts and was laughing at her and everything. And she made me get up with her and actually do the workouts with her one day.
Right.
And I was so sore the next day, and she lost 5 pounds the first week. I'm like, okay, I've got to get the DVDs. I've got to do this. And so I did it, and so far I've lost 42 pounds.
Well, wow.
And, yeah.
That's a lot.
I gained a lot with my little girl. She gave me a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But
and that's not easy. I mean, I watched my wife go through that, that post-pregnancy weight, and she didn't even necessarily gain a lot of weight, after her pregnancy, but she still had like 20 pounds to lose, and it took her a year. It took her like 10 months to a year to get that off. So good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I started at a size 0 and went to. I was a size 0 when I got pregnant, and then when I started, I was a size 12.
Right. Okay. So tell me about coaching. When did you decide to be a coach, and how has coaching been going for you?
I started at the end of November is when I became a coach.
Okay.
So, and it started off sort of slow. The December month was really hard. Everybody was like, after December, I'll start. So I stuck with it, and last month, January was really good, and then February I made Emerald. So
right.
I was really excited. I have hit Success Club every month, though.
Good.
So I'm really proud about that.
So what are you hoping to get out of this group going through RAMP? I mean, what is it? Where you're at? Like, what is it that you're hoping to get out of this? If you were to me,
I want to advance further. I'm not one to go slow. I'm want to get it and go fast and hard. I'm like, once I get doing something, I'm so determined that and that's where I'm at. I want to advance further.
Right.
Because I've got Emerald now. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go to the next step.
Yeah, I got you. So here's what I can tell you. All right, because I'm just like you. I'm a bull on a china shop. When I like if I haven't succeeded at it, it's because I didn't give a shit if I did or not. But once I make the choice that I'm gonna do it, it's like I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make everyone go, how the hell do you do that? Right? That's sort of my mentality. One thing I've learned is this, that you want to do that, but also do it in a smart way. Does that make sense?
Right.
So hopefully you can bank on some of the stuff I've learned, good and bad, because I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've seen a lot of other people do it in a way that maybe wasn't long lasting, and so, but so I guess what I'm saying is this, just be open to what we're saying here, because I mean, it sucks when you go and you go as hard as you can at something, and then all of a sudden you figure out you're going to that brick wall, You know what I'm saying? And so, if I can help you go fast but avoid the brick walls, it's a win-win, right? So that's right. Hopefully we could do that. So, well, I'm looking forward to working with you. All right, and over the course of this month, all of you guys will have open access to me. I'll even, if I think you're doing well, I'll even offer you some one-on-one time where we can get to know each other better, and you can really, really, dig in with me. So, so awesome. And I do want to say this to you guys too, and you guys might not understand this. Like, because I want you guys to understand when I give you advice, it's not for me to make money. All right. None of you guys will make me any more money than I make. All of you guys are on a power leg of mine where I've got enough volume on that leg where I can't make another dime based on what you guys do. Does that make sense? So I don't have any personal goal in mind other than to sincerely help you, right? Other than the fact that I want to help you succeed. That's so the time I'm spending with you guys isn't to pad my own paycheck. You might not understand that right now. Danielle, you understand what I'm saying. They're on a leg that is so strong that I don't need more volume over there to make more money. Does that make sense? So my time with you guys, just consider me like Uncle Johnny, giving you some wisdom and some guidance. All right. And take it for what it is. That I guess that I can never. I'm not going to selfishly lead you. I wouldn't selfishly lead you anyway, right? I just wouldn't do that, because to me, if I selfishly lead somebody, at the end of the day, it doesn't last long term, right? So I always try to advise people based on their best interest. So you might want to write that down. Okay, is this always when you're helping people? Always put their best interest at heart. Not your 2 points, not your new coach, not what you want, but what they want. Okay, Zig Ziglar said this the best. You help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. All right? And so really at the core of what we do with the mission to help others, we sincerely have to learn to put their best interest at heart and advise them selfishly or selflessly, not selfishly, right? But selflessly advise them for their best interest. And if you do that with enough people, you'll be fine. All right. So, all right, let's go to Jen Rowe. Jen, I just like saying it in a row. Jen Rowe. Kind of like hello, Jen Rowe. Sorry, I gotta unmute you. Damn. There we go. Hi, Jen Rowe.
Hi.
Do you go by Jen, Jennifer, Jenny?
Jen.
Jen. All right.
Yeah.
So Jen Rowe, how you doing?
Good.
Good. So tell us about you, like outside of Beachbody. Like
I'm a stay-at-home mom also. I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. One's turning 4 next week. One's turning 6 next month. So yeah. It's crazy. I also crochet and sew, and I sell stuff on Etsy for kids mostly.
So you have an Etsy shop where you crochet like hats and gloves and scarves and stuff, or what?
Yeah, lots of hats. And I sew clothes, like a lot of dresses. I do stuff for me too, but
yeah. That's awesome. So how long, when did you start developing that interest as a little girl?
Yeah, I've pretty much done it all my life. Before being a stay-at-home mom, I was an art teacher. So okay. I'm an artist by nature.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? My wife is very much that way, and she's completely opposite of me, right? And it's like, I admire that so much because I can't draw stick people, Yeah. I couldn't, for me to like create something. So I have so much admiration for people who actually have that skill set and talent, because I don't, my little girl colors better than I do. So that's super cool. So then, where are you from? Where do you live?
Outside of Philadelphia, PA.
Okay. So you're up in Philly.
Yep.
Near Westchester, by any chance?
I actually live in Westchester.
Okay. I used to stay at the King of Prussia with Tony Horton when we would do the QVC shows in Westchester.
Yeah. I'm close to QVC.
Well, yeah. So we used to. That was about 5 years ago. I did probably like 7 or 8 QVC shows with him. Nothing like doing P90X at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
on live TV and having to look like you're wide awake doing it. So cool. So how did Beachbody get into your life?
After I had my daughter, I started running, and I lost a lot of weight, and then I gained a lot of weight because I was just running, and that was it. So my friend was doing Turbo Fire and Shakeology, so she got me into that. So I started with that, and then I found Brent through a running group, and he got me into PiYo.
Right.
And then now I'm doing 21 Day Fix and all that.
So when did you decide to become a coach then, and what part of that journey?
I started in November, I think, is when I signed up as a coach. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to take it, but I wanted to, get the discount and everything and see what it was all about. So I didn't really do anything with it until really this past month is when I really started. I mean, I kind of did a little bit here and there, but this month I really pushed it with the team thing.
What happened? So you signed up like November.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. You getting really going in your 3rd month is a hell of a lot better than I did. I didn't really get going until 2 years in. So, you know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with that. What was it last month that made you decide?
Brent talked me into doing Team Cup with him, so I didn't want to let anybody down, so I finally just started pushing myself and did it.
Okay. All right. There's a reason I'm asking you this question, because I knew it was Team Cup that kind of did that, right? And you guys want to write this down, all right? Accountability helps people get more of themselves than they get on their own, and that's why accountability is such a big part of our structure. On the fitness side and the business side, that there's something powerful that happens. It's like being part of a team. Like, I coach football, so I know none of you play football, but I'm sorry, I have to use analogies from that.
My dad's a football coach.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
so yeah, like, there's no way in hell that I would show up at that high school at 6 o'clock in the morning with those kids if the kids weren't going to be there. Does that make sense? It's the fact that they're going to be there that gets me out of bed. Does that make everybody understand that? So accountability and the community of people that we have is what will help us stay in this long term, and what will help us ignite our own performance above and beyond. Okay. So learning to allow yourself to be accountable to somebody that's higher than you, right? Does that make sense? Is a huge thing. Just like being part of a Team Cup, being part of a challenge group. That's why we run challenge groups. It's the accountability of it. There's multiple ways that you can do the challenge groups. One is just to build a fitness page and add all the people in there. The other way, though, really how it's designed is to put together a group, a small group, just like we did with Ramp, right? So write this down. It's a group business, okay? It's groups in the fitness side, and then it's groups in the coaching side. So our whole system is based on groups. It's challenge groups, and then it's Coach Basics groups, and then Ramp groups, okay? So you guys have graduated through all of that system to Ramp. You guys understand that? And so you guys are here now. Because, and I promise you, I've had people that come into Ramp, and all of a sudden, like, they go bonkers, like they're signing up coaches left and right because they're like, they don't want to let me down. Does that make sense? They don't want to let the group down, or because they want to be the best performer in the group, okay? I'm not going to be here to crack the whip on you like that, I would rather help you shape a vision than to go out there and whirlwind, sign up a bunch of people that don't want to be coaches just to say that you did. Does that make sense? So, so good. But so when did you start your workouts? Like October?
No, last summer.
So you did the fitness for like 4 or 5 months, and then you decided to become a coach, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So far, both of you, and the reason I like to gather these stories is because I like for you guys to see how people showed up. How do we get people, real people, to the point where they're you? You guys understand that? Because For you to build this business, you've got to learn to get people from where they're at to where you are. Does that make sense? Right? And it really is a simple process. It's learning to move people from A to B to C. Right? And so far, the first two of you have done that. It's, A is you're on the outside. A is you're the skeptical person. A is you haven't said yes, you haven't pushed play, you haven't drank a shake, right? A is the normal person that's out there, okay? B is someone who's going to do the programs, right? And so both of the first two, you guys started with those programs, right? And then you got to a point with those programs where you're like, I really like this. Maybe I should go to C, which is to become a coach. An active, willing coach that is willing to go out there and do what we do, right? Because it does you less good to sign up people and throw them right into C. Does that make sense? If they're not ready for C. Does that make you guys understand that? So I don't want, if someone's an A, I want them to be an A. If somebody is a B, I want them to be a B. If somebody is a C, I want them to be a C, and I can move them from A to B to C. So that's exactly how you do this. It's no more complicated than that, all right? Because at the end of the day, we just want more of you. Well, how did you get here? So wouldn't it make sense if that's how you got here, that you get other people here the same path that you came? And you know what that path looked like. Everybody understand that? So Jen, I think it's awesome that you're. How do you like doing your Etsy store, by the way?
It's all right. It gets overwhelming around Christmas time. I get lots of orders then, and then it's like nothing for a while. But
so
it's
can
fun.
you mentor some other younger women on how to crochet, and then you could pay them per piece?
That would be nice.
Business 101, right?
Yeah.
Is outsource and pay somebody else,
Yeah.
right? So if I charge $20 for the scarf, I give them 8.
Mm-hmm.
And after I pay for the materials, I still make 8 myself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, just suggesting that. So, all right, good. Let's go to Shawnee.
Hey, Tommy, first I want to say a little something about Shawnee. That you guys, I'm sure you don't know this. I've known Shawnee her entire life, and I know her because I was named after her mom, Danny. And everybody from my hometown, anyone who knows me until I hit the age of 30, they know me as Danny. So, but anyways, I was named after her mom, and I've known her since she was a teeny tiny little baby. So, yeah, that says my age right there. But anyways, I love you. I love Shawnee. So anyways, all right,
But that's so awesome, I mean, that there's a lifelong relationship that turned into her being here,
And our town is like 100 people, or maybe even not that now. I don't know.
That's great.
We're from the middle of nowhere, so
She's
go ahead,
I
She's gotta be
graduated with like 19 people.
Huh? What'd you
I
say?
graduated with 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shawnee, so obviously
Middle.
you've known Danielle forever. She probably changed her diaper, right? So, but tell us about you. What do we need to know about Shawnee? Who is she?
I work full time at orthopedics at the hospital here in Jackson, Michigan. I'm getting married in June, so I'm doing a lot of wedding planning. That's my life in a nutshell in this moment right now.
So were you born and raised in Jackson, or?
Nope. I grew up in the UP.
Okay.
I moved to Jackson to go to college.
Okay.
And I tried that a couple times and that didn't go through.
Right.
So I ended up getting a job at the hospital, and I've been there for about 4 years. So that worked out my benefit.
We are, my wife and I are up by Jackson quite a bit because her mother lives in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn,
That's
Michigan.
where I live.
You live in Brooklyn? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So we're, in fact, and I went to a Great White concert in Jackson. I don't even know if
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so how did you? So obviously you've known Danielle forever, Danny. Is that how you got introduced to Beachbody? Tell us your Beachbody story. When did you get started with Beachbody?
Actually, it wasn't through Danny, but I was introduced to P90X a couple years ago, and I got a friend of mine to do it with me, and we would do it every morning before we go to work. And then I didn't really, I guess, know that it was a Beachbody program. I just kind of, P90X was so huge then it came. I mean, it was just, I don't know, a really big program. And then I think in the fall of 2013, I was watching Nicole Kobe posting a lot of stuff about Beachbody and coaching and just like her progress and all that stuff. And so I just kind of logged on to Beachbody and wanted to sign up. So.
Right. So it was actually Nicole, right? That you ended up.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a coach then?
A long time.
That's fine.
Since the fall of 13. No,
Okay.
13. Yeah.
So a year and a half. You've been a coach.
So it's taken me a while to do anything.
It's cool. It's cool. Listen. It doesn't. I always say this, and you guys should write this down. There's a difference between a start date, a sign-up date, and a start date. And you'll get a lot of people like Shawnee who come in and don't do much of anything for a while, but don't give up on them. At some point, it will click. As long as you're working and you're still around, at some point when it clicks and they go, no, I really should do something with it, then you want to be there. Some of my best coaches were people, Danielle didn't do crap for a year or two, nothing.
Nothing.
I was thinking, like, who is this chick? She's like the hottest chick in the world, and she wears all this P90X stuff, but she doesn't do anything except hang out.
I always tell my team I was the worst Beachbody coach in history. I was the worst one.
Right.
If you wanted to see an example of what not to do, that was me.
But you know what? But you stuck around and you learned some things, and then you made a decision that you really wanted to do it for your own reasons, and now you're doing great with it. So Shawnee, what was it that made you decide then, after being a coach for a year and a half, what was it that made you go, okay, I need to do this?
I think actually we did one of our Monday night calls, and Danny mentioned something about for the Team Cup, and she had said, last year Team Cup, during when the 21-day fix released, that was when she made her biggest check, and it kind of just made me thinking, like, she made that in a month or a week or whatever it was, and I just thought, I could really, we're wanting to get married and build and do all this stuff, and I'm like, that could be me too. So I don't know, it kind of just, it was an excuse to push me doing that Team Cup, I guess. And
because you got to pay for the wedding, right? You got to pay for the wedding, and
yeah.
You know that, holy crap, somebody made that in a month. I'd have to work. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Totally.
Right. So, I know. I was thinking if I could make that in a month, I'd have my wedding paid for.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I'm with you. I make more every week than I used to make every month now. And I was an intern. I'm going to share the story with you guys in a minute. So, I mean, the upside, I want you guys to grasp this, okay? And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Okay, but what she's talking about is this. We're so groomed in this country to work dollars for hours, to go get a job, make dollars per hours and all that stuff, all right? I want you guys to understand this. As Beachbody coaches, the most you can make, if you maxed out the comp plan, if you went and built the hugest organization in the creation of Beachbody, right? The most you could make from team bonus is $15.6 million a year, right? And that's hard for any of us, including me, to even like fathom. Does that make sense, right? But I could tell you just from hearing your stories, there's a lot of women in this network and a lot of people in this network like me. I was a football coach. You know how much football coaches make? About 27 cents an hour, right? Honestly, I got paid $4,000 to coach football, and I spent 600 hours doing it. this year, and I got a check for $4,000, and I make more than that every week doing Beachbody. Does that make sense? So there's people just like you, though, who really dug into this and said, screw it, I'm doing it. And they went and did it. You know, one of them from the UP where you grew up, you know, Mindy Wender is probably making like $750,000 a year. Just a regular girl, right? Just learned some stuff on social media, went and learned how to build a team, went and did a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about in the ramp, you know, over the course of this month, and just did it and went and didn't have to change who she was. She's a real authentic girl. You know, you got people like Tara Carr, who was a military spouse. Her husband was making $26,000 a year to be a friggin' Green Beret or Army Ranger or whatever the hell he was, to go out and dig out terrorists in Afghanistan, right? And, you know, and now she makes that more than that every 2 weeks. You know, but she was 25 years old, you know? So like the first thing is, you know, I don't know what you guys want from this. Does that make sense? I don't know what your goals are. Maybe, you know, and right now you're all, you know, some of you are still kind of new at this, but I don't want you to limit what it potentially could be if you allowed it to be that or wanted it to be that. All right. I think we spend so much time talking about the mission to help people that we sometimes lose sight of what it can do on the other side of this thing, which is how it changes lives, right? You know, from a financial standpoint, there's no other job that I could go do with my previous skill sets that would pay me what I'm making with Beachbody, right? None. And I can just tell you that, right? That, I mean, I would have never made over $300,000 a year doing insurance. I was making $60,000 a year as an insurance agent, you know, $60,000 a year, which was great friggin' money for my hometown, right? That was a lot of money. You know, and to now make that every 2 months is nuts. You guys understand what I'm saying? All right. So, but it wasn't until I grasped a hold of team building. All right. And we're going to dig into that. I do want to talk to Sabrina quick, and then I'm going to cover a few things tonight, and we're going to dig into some things. But part of the reason I want to get to know you guys is because I want to know where you're at. I want to know what your story is, because the more I know your story, the more I can connect you with other people like you as examples of what's possible. Does that make sense? So the fact that I know that you're young mothers, the fact that I know you're getting married, you know, all of these things, right, helps me use stories of people I know that have had success that better relate to you. My story might not relate to you. None of you are a formerly obese fat guy who's 40 years old. Does that make sense? So my story might not be the one to inspire you, and I really don't care, as long as you see, you know, the potential for what that is. So Sabrina, I want to talk to you. Sabrina just went through basics with us. Bam. How you doing? And I loved your realness in your video. Seriously, you said like you're doing the stuff, but you're kind of afraid to put it out there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. If you come talk to me, I'll talk back to you. But if I have to walk up to you and say something, then we're good. That's our breakdown right there.
There's nothing wrong with what we call magnetic attraction. Okay, so what you're saying is, and the more you become a product of the product, you don't necessarily have to go up one-on-one to people and present it to them. Does that make sense? Like on the street. Is that, you understand what I'm saying? So there's really two ways that you could promote this thing, right? One, with the 5-step invite process, I can go individually invite people, right? Or I can build a huge following and openly talk about what I'm passionate about on my social media and attract people to me that reach out to me and ask. Does that make sense? So,
yes.
So what you're telling me is that you would prefer that, right? So part of that is going to be to grow and expand how many people you have on your Facebook, how many people, the potential number of people that could respond.
Yes.
Okay. That's how, I'll be honest with you, that's how I do it. That's how I do it. You know, I've got 15,000 people on my Facebook. And so I'll put something out on Facebook and I'll get maybe, 7, 8, 10 people that reply to me, and I'll work with those people and figure out which ones want to get started on something. And then I also do one-on-one conversations when they arise, I don't necessarily I don't go one-on-one and hammer people over the head with it.
Right.
Okay. So I don't do that. What I do is, you want to become known as a go-to person for health, fitness, Beachbody. You see what I'm saying? Like, become a go-to person when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to earning money from home. Does that make sense? And if you become a go-to person that people trust, then they go to you.
Yeah.
I used to say this, you know, you wanna hunt hard enough and long enough that you go from being the hunter to being the hunted. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So I don't know if that clicks with you. So Sabrina, so tell us who you are outside of Beachbody.
I am an insect pathologist.
Okay. Can you put that into human terms?
Okay. So I study the pathogens that kill insects and also the pathogens that insects carry that can cause disease in humans.
So like malaria and mosquitoes.
Yes, mosquitoes are actually my favorite to study.
Wow. So what made you interested in that?
I got a degree in microbiology. I got my bachelor's degree in microbiology, and then I got a job at a lab that was a entomology research center.
Right.
And they did mosquito research there, and I got placed in the molecular genetics lab. And so there was my start. And so.
Okay, if you're also equally as impressed as I am, raise your hand. How many of you are like, holy shit, like this girl, like, wow, like seriously? That is, I mean, just based on what you do alone, right? Because it also deals with the health of people and how disease can enter from insects into humans, right? That kind of stuff. I mean, the fact that you are educated in science helps you have validity when you're trying to help people with how they can improve their health. Does that make sense? Like, to me, that would make me trust you more, right? That you've studied stuff like this and you've worked in these types of fields in microbiology and all that stuff. Even if I don't know what the hell you're talking about, right there, I look up to you and go, she knows more than I do, just by what you told me. All right? Okay? So don't be afraid to use that card, you know, like, hey, you know, I mean, you might want to trust me on this. I've studied pathogens. Most people don't know what the hell a pathogen is. I've heard the word. I couldn't tell you what it is, right? So I've studied pathogens, and if you don't want to get diseases, you might want to start taking care of yourself, right? You might want to start working out and drinking your Shakeology. All right, that's all I'm saying to you. That's how I would approach it if I was you. I would just be blunt about it. Take it from somebody who has studied disease-infested insects and how they transfer disease to humans. You want your immune system to be in the best possible shape. And the best way I know is to work out, eat healthy, and drink shakes. That's all you got to say. Done deal. Sign me up. So anyway, so good. All right. Well, so listen, Sabrina, man, I'm excited to have you. All right, so hopefully over the course of this month, and I realize it's 9:43. I told you an hour, so I got to get cracking on my own stuff. So we'll get to share a little bit more, you know, every week that we do this as well. So, Sabrina, where do you live?
Tallahassee.
Oh,
Tallahassee.
Go Gators! We're sending 2 of our football players to UF.
Yay!
Two of our kids that I coach this year are on full rides next year for the Gators. Chomp chomp. Sorry, with the Gators hat on. So I'm a Buckeyes fan though. Ohio State, OH. All right, so I do want to talk about this stuff though because it's time to get teaching. The fact that we just had a smaller group tonight allowed me to do that. I don't always do that, but I like to do that. So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is this, man. It really is awesome to get to know you guys because when I get to know your story, it makes me want to be more invested in you. Okay? That's why we do things like the 5-step process. Okay? Versus just selling a pack. Versus just because when you shared your stories, how many of you feel like you know each other better now, right? And like you're actually more glad you're part of this group because now you know each other and I know you and we've gotten to know each other. We've broken the ice. All I did was 5-step you guys. That's all I've done, right? And in the process of asking those questions, we've built a deeper relationship. So while you guys thought I was just asking, trying to get to know you a little bit, I was actually demonstrating to you what it does emotionally to us when we do that. How many of you felt better about me when I was asking questions about you and wanting to get to know you? If you're being honest. None of you did? Nobody did? Nobody felt better about me? You all thought I was still a jerk, right? But how many of you were like, man, this guy really, instead of just getting on and talking, he's going to slow down and get to know us? How many of you felt that way? That's why we use the 5-step process, right? This is people 101, right? Write this down. Relationship first, business follows. Relationship first, business follows. Here's the deal. I know your story better, so I'm more likely to be invested to you and want to do what's best for you, because I know you guys are banking on this for some reason, whether it's to help provide for your kids, whether it's to, pay for wedding, whatever those things are. I know that you have a certain goal in your head, and I want to help you achieve that. You guys understand that? I wouldn't have known that stuff if I didn't slow down to get to know your story. That's why we want to use those 5 steps, right? So we slow down, get to know people. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it makes you feel better about them, and it makes them feel better about you. And out of that, you build trust. And only from the basis of trust can you build a long-term relationship. And in this business, it's about long-term relationships. All right. So when we took you through basics, right, to this point, you guys got to Emerald, you earned your first promotion, so you're qualifying for free customers on all of that stuff. All right. What's important to understand is this, that we get paid 2 ways, right? Number 1 is to retail. Number 1 is to get people started on Child's Packs. Number 2 is team building. Okay, team building. And the way that you think is going to drastically take you one direction or another, right? So if you're just always thinking, I gotta help people on the fitness side, without thinking on the other side, I gotta build a team. Does that make sense? If you're gonna get what you think about. My suggestion is this: if you want to do well in the business long term and build long-term residual income, and if you want to help more people, you'll start shifting your thinking to team building, right? I gotta build a team. I gotta build a team. I gotta build a team. All right. So here's why. Okay. There's 2 reasons why. For the first 2 years that I did this, I was a fitness fan that talked a lot about fitness. I had lost 120 pounds of P90X. I became the poster boy for P90X. I was, all of that stuff, but I wasn't making any money as a coach, right? I had friends making $4,000 a week. I was making $150 a week. I was making $200 a week, and it was all retail retail commissions off of me selling a program or me selling, some recovery drink or whatever. It wasn't until 2 years in that it hit me that if I really wanted to do something with this business, I was going to have to build a team of coaches. And I had kind of built a team, but after 2 years, I had like maybe 40 or 50 total coaches on my team. And I didn't sponsor all of them. I maybe sponsored half of them, but that's when it hit me. Like, I really need to build a team. And here's why. I had an incentive. I wanted to help as many people change their lives physically as I could, because that's where I found the value. Was I lost all that weight, and I wanted to help people be not so fat, right? So, but it hit me that I don't have to be the only person helping them. That I could never alone help 10,000 people in a year. Me, myself, and I, if I was the only soldier in the army to help people, how many of you agree that one soldier can't go take over a small country, right? That it takes an army of people. And so if we really want to make an impact on the health of this country, then we need to build an army of people. And that's where you guys come in, right? You are now part of that army. And your job as part of that army of people is to do 2 things, right? One is to go out there and help and actually be a soldier in the fight for health and fitness and wellness and help, whatever that is, whatever you identify that as, whether that's you helping other moms, finally lose their baby pouch and feel sexier again, right? Whether that's, whether that's me going out and really fighting against food addiction and obesity, because that's what I come from, right? And that's the first job. The second job is to then add people to the marching army and grow the army. Okay, and that's called team building. So that's what we do. And as a team, we recognize both of those, right? We recognize the volumes, and then we recognize the number of team building things. So one is this, that a marching army of people, like a team of people, can change more lives than you ever can alone. That's the first reason, right? That we want to build a team. The second reason is the income side. You know, the income side. The people who get paid the most money are the ones that build the biggest teams. And that's what I'm going to tell you. So I don't know what your goals are. When I first started out, I figured if I could make a few $100 a month to pay for my fitness habit, pay for my protein bars, pay for my recovery drink, pay for my shakes, if I could make, a few $100 a month, that'd be great. And then it was like, if I could make $1,000 a month and pay for my trip to Summit, that would be awesome. So I just didn't want it to cost me anything. But then it became like, you know what, I really hate my friggin' job, man. If I could make $1,000 a week, I could leave my job as an insurance agent, and man, I could be doing Beachbody coaching full time. And it was about 2 years in that hit me. And 2 years in was when I said, I got to build a team of people. I can't do this on my own. I've been doing this on my own for 2 years. I can't do it on my own. I got to go build a team of people. And I set a goal for myself to get to 300 coaches, right? So, but what I had to realize was this. I didn't have to be the only person. When you start building a team of people, you don't have to be the only person finding people. Okay, so write this down. This business is this. Learn, do, teach, repeat. Learn, do, teach, repeat. Okay? So don't overcomplicate it. We already described how you guys came into the network, and the majority of you started with the program first, upgraded to a coach later. Some of you took a while to upgrade to a working coach, and that's fine, right? Okay? But you traveled the path A to B to C. So wouldn't it make sense if you, who are the newest uprising leaders in our organization, and that's what you are, that's why you're in RAMP, that's why I'm working with you, because my people know, don't put people into this group that aren't serious about wanting to be in this group. Because I don't want to work with, I'm to the point where I want to work with people who are ready to do something, right? So if that's how you got here, doesn't it make sense for you to help people down that same path, right? So when we talk about, when we talk about team building, there's a difference between, a solid team and a skeleton team. There's a difference between getting to diamond. So one of the things you're going to do in this group is you're going to print out this diamond chart, right? Because that's really your next promotion. Screw Ruby. Ruby doesn't even friggin' matter, okay? It doesn't. Ruby's like nothing. Like someone's like, oh, I hate Ruby. Nobody gives a shit. It does nothing. It does nothing, okay? It's like faking it with your husband. It does nothing. It's not real. It doesn't matter, okay? You can smack me. I know a couple of you are like, oh my God, did he just say that? Yes, I said it. All right. Yes, I said it. People are covering their eyes. I can't believe I said it. I don't care. Ruby does not matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Your next stop on the track to promotion is diamond. All right. And that's where you need to get to. But there's a difference between getting to diamond and then getting to diamond and staying there and having it grow from there. Right? Does that make sense? How many of you don't want to just get a trophy and then 3 months later that trophy is like in shambles and nobody cares, right? Does that make sense? If you're going to do it, you might as well do it and do it well and build it well, right? It makes no sense to throw up a beautiful house without footers that are supporting it. It makes no sense at all. So I want to help you guys understand that. So in my opinion, the best way to team build is to follow that challenge group system. To go out there and get as many people started on the programs as you can, learn how to hold those people accountable, stay in touch with them, and then learn those green light moments when we can put coaching in front of them and get them to upgrade to coach. How many of you followed that exact path, right? You followed that path. Somebody started you on a program. Eventually, they put coaching in front of you. Eventually, you said yes to coaching, right? It wasn't like day one, you were like, hell yeah, I want to be a coach. Yeah, put me in RAMP. Yes, I want to spend an hour with this Tommy guy. He's great. You didn't come in guns blazing. So why would we expect for people to do that, right? We got to move them. This is about more understanding how we move people down a journey of their own to get them where we want them to go. So the first step is this: when you enroll a customer, understand you didn't just enroll a customer, you enrolled a coach in training. And that our first job with that person is to get them to do the first vital behavior, which is be a product of the product. Get them drinking their shake, get them pushing play, help them get results. Okay? When they get the results, bam, be a coach. Put the coach card in front of them. That's when you throw the coach bait out. Here, fishy, right? I know you want to be a coach. Does that make sense? All right? So there's a difference between diamond and scouts and diamond. What's the difference? Getting to diamond, it means this, that you get people who willingly want to work and be a coach. That they're not just a coach by name only. They're not just somebody, it's not just Aunt Vicky who did it to you for a favor. That signed up as a coach just for a favor for you, right? Does that make sense? So you want to get quality people in the long run. Now, I'm not saying there's not some people when you're enrolling them that maybe their best option is to enroll as a coach. Maybe them and their husband are going to be drinking Shakeology, and so it just makes sense for them just to save money, and that's perfectly fine. But understand, in the long run, you want coaches who are going to go out and work, that are going to come in, that are going to go through basics, that are going to go through ramp, that are going to learn all the stuff that you've learned. And the more of those you have, the more people's lives get changed, the more money that you make. How many of you want that? How many of you want lives to change, and how many of you want to make money changing lives, right? Okay. So the first step is this: trust the system. Okay, trust the system. That there really are two ways to bring people in. One is to follow that challenge group system, which I believe in, and I believe in it because every time I get into one of these calls, the majority of people that I meet with in this group came through that way. Okay, that's the first thing. The second way would be to find people who are already enthusiastic about health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition, and present them with the opportunity or chance to be a coach so they can get paid for what they're already enthusiastic about. So other people who are already advocating healthy, active lifestyles and might be willing to partner with Beachbody because Beachbody will pay them to do what they're already doing. Right now, they're not advocating Beachbody, but they're advocating the industry that we're in. Does that make sense? So that's the second way that you can bring people in. Here's what's going to be important for you guys, all right, is understanding that those daily to-do lists, that power of three thing, okay? We want to get you to the point where you're more comfortable putting coaching in front of people, okay? Putting coaching in front of people. That our job isn't necessarily to sign up coaches, it's to get coaching in front of them. That coaching is a product just like Shakeology is. Coaching is a product just like the 21-Day Fix is. So just like we put 21-Day Fix in front of people, we also have to put coaching in front of people. It's a two-folded job. And as long as we do those two jobs, present the fitness, present coaching, present the fitness, present coaching, and put it in front of them. Now, how many of you know that if 10 people look at the fitness, if you get 2 or 3 of them to say yes, that's a pretty good day, right? Well, it's no different on the coaching side. Most people don't say yes the first time someone asks them to become a coach. How many of you didn't say yes the first time, right? Or how many of you did say yes and then waited a year to do something, Shawnee? Right? I did too, okay? So the majority of people, so get it out of your head that, write this down. Our job isn't to be a good enroller. It's to be a good planter of seed, right? It's to get it in front of as many people as possible and then stick around down the road so that when they are ready to say yes, guess who they come to? They come back to you. All right? So learning to talk about coaching as openly, creating your coach story, why you became a coach, what being a coach has done for you, right? So just like we have the fitness story, right? Like you guys are really good at sharing your fitness story. I started on the 21-Day Fix and I lost 15 pounds and blah, 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 right? And you've got that fitness story. You also have a coach story. So that's why I asked you guys, when did you decide to become a coach? What made you decide to become a coach? What were you skeptical about? What made you say yes? Why is it that you said yes to wanting to do this? Learning to share that story is equally as important as sharing your fitness story. Learning how to openly communicate that on Facebook is just as important as communicating your fitness side, okay? Does that make sense? So over the course of this month, we're really going to help you nail down the vision for your team, okay? And how you approach people about coaching. So that, how many of you feel like, well, I just don't know. I don't know what to say when I put coaching in front of them, right? I don't know how to get it in front of them. So we're going to show you step by step over the course of this month. We're not going to do that tonight because it's already 10 o'clock, all right? But we're going to show you step by step over the course of this month. So here's how the rest of this month is going to look. You're going to have the daily assignments, right? They're a little bit longer than the Coach Basics daily assignments, okay? Some of them you're going to be required to make a video. You guys already did that yesterday, right? You know, that's the first thing, you know, is the assignments. The second thing is going to be these calls. Now, next week, we're going to do how to 5-step a challenger, someone who's in that position. They're at point B, and we want to upgrade them to C. I'm going to show you exactly what to say, how to say it, what to ask them, all of that stuff. We're going to do that, right? I had a girl, Jen Marshalick, who, you know, when she got into ramp, she wasn't sure, and then she learned like 2 little things, and she started doing these 2 little things, and all of a sudden she sponsors like 25 coaches in 3 months, you know, because she just got really comfortable with it. Was so easy then. So I'm going to show you the easy way to just ask. Does that make sense? And then what to do with them once you do ask. All right, we're gonna go over that next week. Here's what you guys want for this course. All right. Number 1 is this. You're going to need your diamond chart. Okay. For you to get there, right, we're going to use diamond as a goal, right? So a diamond rank as a goal. Okay. But for you to hit a goal, you got to see where you're going. Does that make sense? You got to have the roadmap to it. How many of you have a diamond chart printed off already, or you don't even know what it is, right? In the file section of the ramp page, there's a diamond chart. You need to print that off, and then you need to fill it in with who you currently have. And then on the other side of it, you need a list of people that you think you might want to approach. Okay, here's the kind of people I would be thinking of. Who do you know that's already been doing Beachbody stuff? Who do you know that you've already signed up on a challenge pack, right? Who do you know that's also like staying at home and could use some extra money, getting healthy and helping other people get healthy, right? You might want to approach them as well. But you're going to need that diamond chart. You're gonna fill that out, and then every week when you enroll somebody, you're going to refill that out, take a picture of it, and post it. All right, we want to celebrate that with you. You're going to need your personal development. The personal development we're doing for this group is Failing Forward. John Maxwell's Failing Forward. You can read the book. You can get the audio. I don't care, either one. The last thing, and one of the assignments I'm going to have you guys do tonight or tomorrow morning, is I'm going to talk to you about goal setting. And then this will be the last thing that we talk about tonight. So we're going to have you set what I call vomit goals. Okay, how many of you have heard of the vomit goal theory before? Oh, really? See, it's traveled from me through somebody else to you. That's great. That's awesome. So it's getting around. All right, so part of the reason we don't succeed at a greater level is because we don't challenge ourselves to do something that we're not 100% certain we can do, right? So to me, it's pretty simple. There's 3 levels that you're setting goals. And one of the first things is this. As you're building a team, 1, learn how to set goals for yourself. 2, learn to help other people set goals for themselves. Goal setting is huge, right? Setting a goal, having a deadline on it. Setting a goal, having a deadline on it. So for yourselves, I'm going to ask you guys to challenge yourself with something called a vomit goal. There's 3 levels of goals that you can set for yourself. One is a comfortable goal, right? Which is doing something you've already done. Like you've already sponsored 1 coach in a month and made Success Club 5. Right? And so for you to reasonably go, well, I could make Success Club 5 again this month, seems doable, right? But it doesn't make you nervous. You see what I'm saying? Then there's the medium goal, what I call medium goal, because I just, for lack of a better term, it's kind of a medium goal, which is like, it might be slightly above what you did before. So maybe your best month before was 6, and so you're going to go for 8, right? Maybe your best month was 2 coaches, so you're going to go for, 8 points and 2 coaches. And so you're just going to slightly improve over what you previously done. Like you're pretty sure you can do it, but you haven't done it before, right? Does that make sense? So that's your your medium goal. And then there's this third goal. The third goal is this. It's when you hear the number, it makes you nauseous, right? It makes you like go, holy shit, I want to turn around and puke. Did I really just say that I'm going to do that? Okay. I really started doing well in this business when I learned to do this. Okay. So I used to sponsor, like 10, maybe 15 coaches in a year. My first year, I think I sponsored 15 coaches. My second year, I sponsored like maybe 23, right? Which was pretty good. That was 2 a month. But I was just doing, my 1 a month, my 2 a month, blah, 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 blah. I never challenged myself above that. And then there was a contest that we had. This is why Team Cut gets the best out of people, because it challenges you to shoot for more than you would shoot for on your own. So I guess that's what I'm asking you to do. So in this contest, if you've gotten the top 10 of the company, Carl Deichler came to your house. And I thought that'd be pretty cool. Well, I didn't think I could be in the top 10, though, because I had never been in the top 10 of anything, never was close to the top 10 of anything, right? And then someone in my hometown was like, you should get in the top 10. You can get Carl to come to Bellevue, Ohio, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you're going to do that, right, Tommy? And I went, yeah. Of course, because my ego was like, yeah, to say I could do something, right? So I said yes. And then I turned around and I wanted to friggin' puke. I was like, holy shit. There's no way that I can get in the top 10. How the hell am I going to make that happen, right? At that point, my goal was so big, I didn't care about all the excuses outside of my head. I just knew I had to do that, okay? And so I just started asking everybody. And this was my approach to them. I'm giving you my approach because you could use the same approach, okay? This is like gold nuggets I'm going to give you right now, all right? All I did was this. Hey, listen. I'm working on having one of the best months ever in this Beachbody thing, and I promised somebody that I would help a crap load of people this month. So listen, I don't know if you've ever even considered doing Beachbody stuff, but if you've ever even considered it and you're on the fence, now is the time. Is that something that you thought about doing? If so, why don't we just go ahead and get you going right now? That was my approach. Does that make sense? Like, if you've ever thought about it, I'm not waiting. Like, this is the month. Okay? So, I'm going to make you set a vomit goal and make me a promise that you're going to hit it. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to set a goal for 2 things. Number of Success Club points and number of coaches. All right? And I just gave you the approach that you can use with people, okay? Is, hey, I made a promise to this guy that I was going to have a blowout month this month, okay? And so I don't know if you've ever thought about this or not, but if you have, now's the time to do it because I don't have any time to waste, okay? All I did was do that, and literally 80% of the people I asked said yes. I was asking somebody every day. It didn't matter who you were, right? So what I'm asking you guys to do is set a vomit goal. So what I want to know is this, and you guys will post this in the rant page, is this. What's your vomit goal? What's your previous best number of Success Club points and number of coaches in a month? And it could be 5 and 2, whatever, right? And then what's your goal going to be? And I want the goal to make you nervous. I want the goal to challenge you in a way that makes your butterflies turn in your stomach a little bit. You guys understand that? Can you guys do that? Okay.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
So check this out. See, I didn't know he was going to bring this up about the vomit goals. I mean, I kind of remember now, but when about 25 minutes ago, see, this is why I love being on these meetings with him, because I always learn something, right? And something always happens for me when I'm on a meeting with him. So about 25 minutes ago, he said something, and I just very nonchalantly wrote a vomit goal down on this piece of paper that I'm keeping to myself. That, I mean, I'm seriously getting hot. Like my face, you probably see my face turning red. I'm getting like hot thinking about it because it scares the shit out of me. I mean, it literally scares the shit out of me. But it's here because of something he said just about 25 minutes ago. So, shoot high. I feel freaking sick.
That's good. That's good. And she's like 3 years in, and she still gets nervous about this stuff, So listen, we didn't do as much teaching today. We did teaching for example. I want you guys to understand that, right? I mean, if you just think about tonight's call, like you might go through this and think, some things are taught, some things are caught. Right? Hopefully you caught some of the things tonight that we were trying to explain to you, which is how we move people from A to B to C. The power of getting to know people through the art of form, right? All of those things. So with that said, write your vomit goals down, print off that diamond chart, get your John Maxwell Failing Forward. You have access in that ramp page every day, okay? I check it every day. We got Danny in there every day. But now's the time to ask like your team building questions. Or, you know, if you have a conversation that comes up with somebody and you're not quite sure what to say, ask us, okay? Even if you have to privately message me to get my attention, do that, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, so I can tell you, I've had people that will privately message me, and I'll walk them through the questions I ask, and they'll just kind of repeat it to their prospect. And by the end of it, the person signs up, they're like, oh my God, I totally would have lost that person. You know what I mean? Okay? So don't be afraid. I don't want you to lose the people. If you get a fish on the hook, come and ask us, all right? Next week, we're going to do the 5 steps, and we're really going to dig into how to interview somebody to be part of your team. All right, how to get coaching in front of them, what to look for, how to prospect them. That's next week. The following week, we're going to talk about finding your target market and learning how to niche and learning how to brand and learning how to promote openly on Facebook and using social media with your niche and your target market to build your audience and all that stuff. So we're gonna dig into social media and that sort of stuff in week 3. And then in week 4, it's going to be, you know, what do I do with that new person? How do I really get them up and going? So I think if you can grasp those things, you guys are going to be good to go. So with that said, that's it. I'm here, and you guys have access to me. I'm working with you this month, right? So if you need to private message me, do that, okay? You got 1 month with me, and then you're free birds, you know? Then you're going to get kicked out of the nest and, you know, all that. So, all right, guys, I know it's 12 after 10. So I appreciate your time. I'm glad we got to know each other tonight.
Thank you, Tommy.
No problem. All right, y'all.
Hey, guys.